AI art is getting better every day at helping you make your comic story look the way that you want it to. But today, we're going to find out if it can help you write the story that you want to, the gag, the bit. In short, we're going to find out if AI is funny. Can it make a whole comic strip all on its own? I don't know. Let's find out. Hey, I'm Aaron, and this is Camp Peculiar, a channel dedicated to visual storytelling using AI art. And today, AI words. How you doing? How are your projects going? How is your book, your kids' book, your comic strip, your animated comic strip? I hope all of it is going well. Today, I'm taking the day off. There's no funny business. I don't have to come up with a gag, a bit, a joke. The pressure is off me to be entertaining or funny. We'll let the computer handle everything today. But let's be real clear. I want to be clear what that actually looks like. Today, where we're at today with AI stuff, I don't know of a system, or I certainly don't have access to a system that could turnkey a comic book, a comic strip, or like a children's book or something like that. I don't know of one that can handle just from a single text prompt, generating all the art, the words, the graphic design, putting it in the right spot, the editing for length and tone and all that kind of stuff like that. Maybe it exists. I don't have access to it. So where we're at today is really, I'm still handling, the artist is still handling the beginning and the end. I'm giving it a prompt for what I want the story to be, how long, characters, maybe a plot point or two. But then the AI is going to handle the actual writing of everything, and I'm not going to touch the writing after that. Likewise with the artwork, we start at the beginning with the prompt, with what we want it to look like, the style, the characters, what the characters should look like, the environments that they're in. And then the AI will handle the actual generation of that art. And then I'm still going to handle assembly, or the end part, where I actually take all that art, put it into a comic format, put the speech balloons where they go. So there's still like a lot of stuff that we have to do at the beginning, at the end. Today, we're going to find out what AI can do in the middle. So while AI is going to handle a lot today, there still is a lot of selection and curation and prompt writing and assembly that I get to handle. So I guess I'm not taking the entire day off. It's like a half a day. It's like a half a day today, and I feel good about that. So if you're ready to take a half a day with me, like take a half a day where you're at, that's fine, you can do that, and then take a half a day with me, and then see, you've still worked a full day. See how that all works out? If you're ready, I'm ready. I got like 3 prompts, starting with something easy like a knock-knock joke. Then we're going to get progressively more complicated in terms of storytelling, and we'll see what AI can come up with. Hey there. If you've ever watched any of my comic creation with AI art overview videos, you know, we always start with story. Story, they say, is key. It's king. And even when you're using AI to write that story, it's probably still true, even though it feels a little bit weird. We're going to head over to the OpenAI playground and see what kind of knock-knock joke we can come up with for this first comic strip. Write a knock-knock joke about, let's go with cats today. Let's write let's write a knock-knock joke about cupcakes. We got knock-knock, who's there? Cupcake who? Cupcake, you know what I want? I don't know. All right, we're going to put that one in the list. Again, this is about curation, selection, and direction. And so this should be the ultimate test, I think. Write a knock-knock joke about knock-knock jokes. I think it's a hard task. Who's there? Knock, knock. Oh, it's all out of order. Who's there? Knock, knock. Who's there? Orange, orange who, orange who. That. I don't like that. That doesn't make any sense to me. Write a knock, knock joke about knock, knock jokes. We got who's there? Knock, knock jokes. That's like a cliffhanger. Okay, let's try again. Switched over to every prompt here, still using Text DaVinci 2, and we said, write a knock, knock joke about salmon. Knock, knock, who's there? Salmon. Salmon who? Salmon, you let me in. I don't think so. So we got knock, knock, who's there? Comic book guy. Hey, I hear you're into comic books. It's less of a joke and more of a statement, or an assumption, I should say. But we'll put it in the list. Okay, write a knock-knock joke about sharks. Again, this was using Text Curie, a slightly older model, but we said, write a knock-knock joke about sharks. We got knock-knock, who's there? Shark. Shark who? No one knows, but it's probably a bad idea to answer, which is not bad. I will tell you that we're going to stick with that one. We're going to turn that into a comic right now. But I generated dozens of these that were not great, nonsensical. Oranges came up a lot. So on the knock-knock joke front, I would give the AI's ability to write something funny funny, like not a 0, but not high either. All right, let's turn this into a comic really quickly. We have our story, knock, knock, who's there? Shark, shark who? No one knows, but it's probably a bad idea to answer. We're going to put that into a comic right now, real quick. So in Photoshop, created a new document. I kind of made it to Instagram specifications, but then made it extra long. Laid out some panels using some guide here. I think we'll go with 4. I'm going to go ahead and create some panels here, and then make sure they have a fill of white, because I'm going to use those as clipping mask. When we bring the artwork in, I'm going to set them as a clipping mask. Next thing, the funnest thing that I can think of is to put this AI text in here. And I think for knock, knock, we're going to go with the Maneater BB Maneater font, which seems perfect for a shark. One of Blambot's free comic fonts. And then the person goes, who's there? We'll put that in Ashcan. Knock knock needs some punctuation though. Is it knock knock like a statement? Or is it knock knock like a question? Like knock knock? Or is it like knock knock? And then we're going to put who's there overlapping the panels, because I don't want to dedicate a panel to each response, so we'll have a lot. So I'm going to try to put the who's there coming from a door. I don't have any of this artwork generated yet, so I don't know how this is going to turn out. I definitely want the text coming from behind the door of the house or whatever happens, so that I don't have to dedicate a panel to it. And then try to figure out what's the right spacing on all of these, which feels fine right now, but it'd be really nice to get a bad on the same line. Nobody knows, but leave the line at a cliffhanger. It's probably, and then a bad. And we really should have bad idea on the same line, because bad idea is one thought. And there we go. Time for some speech balloons. Let's do that really quickly. So I think we're going to leave this shark who in its own panel instead of bringing it over here and doing it from behind the door, because maybe the joke will be funnier or punch more if we show somebody on the other side who is either very adept at handling a shark or not adept at all, or very terrified of a shark. So if we actually reveal what that character looks like on the other side of the door here in the third panel, possibly as funnier, or still completely as unfunny as it's been the entire time we've been working on this. All right, it's time to generate some artwork to support all of this stuff. And we're going to go over to MidJourney, and we're going to use version 4 for that. All right, it has taken a ton of work, way harder than I thought it would be. Really hard to get the shark standing at the front door all in one frame. So I went ahead and went with the separation route of generating a shark character that looked like what I wanted it to look like, with no background, so I can separate it. And then we got to the guy that'll be on the other side of the door. Went through a bunch of different door iterations till we found something that we want. We've got the shark separated. We've got the front of the house, which I think the shark is going to go on the bottom step over here, and we'll put that in there. And then we just need the last bit, which is the inside of the house here. Okay, so we're ready to do this. Let's go ahead and put the backgrounds in really quickly. All right, there we go. Comic 1, a knock-knock joke written by AI. AI art generated, but me assembling the things, directing what it should be about. And then we decided with the sort of punchline, sort of a hidden art punchline, is that this shark's happy and the guy behind the door is the actual killer. It's kind of, it's kind of a switcheroo is what we call that. All right, that took way longer than I thought, so let's do one more and let's make it slightly more complicated, less of a setup of a bit and more of a story, and see what AI can do there. We're back at OpenAI's playground. I'm going to change the engine, the model, back to DaVinci 2, and then we'll see what happens there. So today we're going to say, let's just say a comic strip about a lost kitten. A little girl finds a kitten on the street and takes it home, but her parents won't let her keep it. The girl is heartbroken and decides to run away from home with the kitten. She gets lost in the city and is eventually found by the police. The kitten is safely returned to its home, so the cat was actually abducted, not just lost. The kitten was safely returned to its home, and the girl is reunited with her family. All right, that's a real story. That's a real story. It's a very it's a very simple tropey story, but that's a real story. Let's go with a comic strip about a superhero that can't fly. All right, so we did a story about a superhero that can't fly. It's not bad. It's a real story in here. I mean, I could see this as a thing. There once was a superhero who could not fly. It was very difficult for her to get around, especially when she had to save people from high places. She was always having to find creative ways to get to her destination. Sometimes she would swing from buildings or take rope and climb up the side of a building. Other times she would have to ask for help from people who could fly. Despite her limitation, she was still a very successful superhero. Maybe. It's a lot. This is all going to be a lot of art about a monster that goes to space. All things I know that AI can generate pretty easily. Wow, it's really going for it. Slow down, AI. Okay, I think we got it. Space is a lonely place. The vastness of the universe can be intimidating and even a bit scary, but for one little monster, space is a perfect place to explore. The monster comes from a planet that is always shrouded in darkness. There's no sun, no moon, no stars, but the monster does not mind. It used to the darkness, actually prefers it. The monster is curious about the universe and what lies beyond its own planet, so it decides to build a spaceship and blast off into the great unknown. The monster is excited to finally see what else is out there. It's not long before the monster reaches space. As it looks on the infinite expanse, it feels both excited and scared, but it knows that there's no turning back. This isn't bad. This is pretty good. All right, I know it's like book one of a comic book series. We're definitely going with this, a story about a monster in space. Tons of artwork. That would not be the next step. The next step for me would be to condense this into panels and an actual sort of story that I'm going to tell, to treat it much more like, okay, this is the script, this is what's going to happen, but this isn't in a format that I can just, we can make a comic out of it right now. Like, I got to pick scenes that are going to have words or not going to have words. Can I do the whole thing without dialogue? That would be amazing. So that's kind of what like the next step would be, is to take this idea for a story that's written out as a story and put it into a format where you can actually begin creating it as a comic. All right, so I'm pretty much done kind of rearranging this. Again, I'm not adding any words to this. That's not the point of this challenge or this our own exploration of AI story writing here. But I am trying to group things as they would make sense. So space is a lonely place. That's an opening panel, an establishing shot. Then we're in on the monster and showing that his planet doesn't have a sun or moon. We're trying to make it look dark. We don't need that part, so we're going to get rid of that. But the monster doesn't mind at all. So we go right from a establishing shot into the main character and sort of their environment, the way things are, the status quo. And then this is more status quo stuff here. The monster doesn't mind the darkness and it prefers it. Then we move to something that starts changing things. There's this curiosity. So the monster would need a catalyst or an inciting incident here. And so I'd love to add finds a bit of metal that crashed to the plane, or finds, but that's not what the AI wrote. So we're going to leave that out. Decides to build a spaceship and blast off into the great unknown. So those are the beats written by AI. Now I'm going to go back to MidJourney and generate a bunch of artwork. And then we're going to assemble this thing into a page or two. All right, so there's page one done. I think let's take a look at our story and see what we were supposed to actually do. So more work to do on getting the spaceship thing, and we will create a new page and then take a look at that when that's done.
just finishing up page, I don't know what page yet because I haven't put it in a folder. Page 5, done with the rocket building sequence, which was as hard as I thought it would be, but also as long as you don't show his face and we just show him carrying, buckets of stuff, maybe going back and getting a backpack of stuff. He needs this item. And then like this loosely looks like some kind of rocket engine. I feel like we can sell that. So last thing we have to do is grab some space. Not last thing we have to do. I'm going to go in and fill all these panels in now with stars to make them dark. And then we'll have the big wrap up panel, probably 2 more images left, I think. And then I will show you all the pages. Feels like we need one more shot of him in space, but I think that's going to do it for this page 6. Let's take a look at all of them. So is AI able to just like create a comic from scratch? If it is, I haven't seen that. And you can see there's still an immense amount of work and thought that goes into taking even a raw story that's generated by AI and putting that in a way that makes sense. And then taking all the visuals and making a bunch of, more directing decision. It does feel more like editing a film than it does like drawing a comic book a little bit. And it's fine. I think it came out good for this particular exercise. Took way, way longer than I thought it would. But I think all things do.
Well, there you go. I hope you had fun and found that interesting. Thank you for hanging out with me. Thanks for taking a half day with me. That's really all I ask. Forget all that like and subscribe stuff. What I want, and the bell notification, forget the bell notification. What I'm really looking for is for you to tell who's ever in charge of you, wherever you're at, that you're going down to part-time, because your other half day you're spending right here at Camp Peculiar learning about storytelling, AI art, and all that stuff. If that's interesting to you and you can't go part-time or choose not to, if you choose to be responsible, which I appreciate, just give it a like and subscribe. Like some of the videos we got on here. Check out some of the other content. Check out the shorts we're working on. And by we're, I mean I'm working on. And I'll see you next time. I'll see you real soon with another video from Camp Peculiar.